work in procurement, you've heard the term spend analysis hundreds of times. It shows up in every vendor pitch, every conference panel, every software evaluation. But if you ask 5 procurement leaders to define it precisely, you'll get 5 different answers. So let's fix that. In this video, I'll walk you through what spend analysis actually is, how it works inside an enterprise, where it delivers real value, and where it tends to fall short. No sales pitch, just an honest look at the technology and the operational realities around it. At its core, spend analysis is the process of collecting, cleansing, and categorizing procurement data so you can see where your money is going. It sounds simple, but it's anything but in practice. Most organizations have transaction data spread across multiple ERP systems, purchasing platforms, corporate cards, one-time payments. The data is messy. The same supplier might appear 10 different times each ERP, depending on which business unit entered the invoice. Spend analysis tools begin by taking that raw data, normalizing it, harmonizing it, and organizing it into what the industry would call a spend cube. Typically, there are 3 dimensions: who bought what was bought, and who supplied it. Suppliers, categories, business units. That cube gives procurement teams their first real picture of total enterprise spend. That visibility is important. Research suggests organizations using advanced spend analytics identify savings opportunities 3 to 5 times faster than teams relying on manual methods. Some studies cite returns of 60x or more on the investment. These are very impressive numbers, but they come with context that often gets left out. Where spend analysis works well. Spend analysis is genuinely valuable for a few things. First, it creates a baseline. Before you can manage spend, you need to see it. Most procurement organizations do not have a clean, unified view of what they're actually spending. Spend analysis gives you that starting point. Second, it supports category management. Once you can see spend by category, you can identify consolidation opportunities, spot maverick spending, and benchmark pricing across business units. Third, it improves compliance. When you can tie spending back to contracts and policies, you get better adherence to negotiated terms. That's real money saved. Here's where it gets honest. Spend analysis tells you what happened. It's very good at looking backward, but most implementations stop at dashboards. The insight lands in a report, the report lands in a meeting, someone writes down an action item, and then tracking stops. Did anyone run the sourcing event? Did the negotiation happen? Did the projected savings actually show up in the P&L? In most organizations, nobody can answer that cleanly. The gap between identifying an opportunity and verifying a financial outcome is where a lot of procurement technology quietly undelivers. There's also the problem of the data. Spend analysis depends entirely on quality data. If your classification is off, your insights are off. Many tools claim high auto-classification rates, but in complex environments with tail spend, indirect categories, and non-PO transactions, the reality is much messier than what a demo would suggest. This is where the concept of procurement intelligence enters the conversation. It's a newer term, and different vendors define it differently, but the core idea is worth understanding and exploring. Where spend analysis focuses on visibility, procurement intelligence attempts to close the loop between insight and action. The idea is that the system does not just show you an opportunity, it tracks whether someone acted on it, follows the execution, and then ties the result back to actual financial outcomes. This is critical. Some platforms are also layering in AI to automate classification, flag anomalies, and surface recommendations without waiting for an analyst to run a report. That's promising, but it's early. The quality of these outputs depend heavily on the data foundation underneath. If you're evaluating tools in this space, the question to ask is not, does it have AI? The question is whether it can show you the path from an insight to a verified dollar on your P&L. That is the gap most organizations are still trying to close. Here's the bottom line. Spend analysis is a foundational capability. Every procurement organization should have it, but it's a starting point, not an end point. The real measure of maturity is whether your organization can connect what it sees in the data to what it actually does about it, and then prove the result. That's a harder problem than most vendor slides suggest, but it is the right problem to be working on. If this was useful, subscribe. I make videos like this regularly, walking through the realities of procure tech without the marketing spin. If you're evaluating tools in this space right now, drop a comment. Happy to share what I've seen work and what tends to disappoint. Resources are linked in the description. Thanks for watching.